What is up, YouTube? This is Chris, the Unprofessional Dad, and I am back with my second video here to share some of my most recent knives that I have gotten this week to add to my slowly but surely growing knife collection. Now, my knife collection is not very big. I've got a few knives, and I've recently dove into the world of collecting knives. I absolutely love it. It's something that I'm doing with my kids. I'm a full-time dad. I've got 6 kids. I've got 4 full-time. 4 little boys between the ages of 2 and 9, and I absolutely have very little time to do anything else. So the one thing that I have found time to do that doesn't take a lot of energy or a lot of focus or time away from my kids is knife collecting. I can do it at house. I can watch some YouTube videos. I can collect them, put them in a drawer, put them in a safe. Get into the world of EDC a little bit with them, but also it's something I can do with my kids, and they have absolutely fallen in love with it as well. They like claiming the knives, picking out the knives, helping me open them when they come in. So it's something that we do together, and I am really lucky and fortunate to be doing this. Now, I do have limited time and a very limited budget, so the knives that I am going to be showing you today aren't the Sebenzas and the really expensive customs. They're just knives, but they're my knives. They're knives that I've gotten this week, and I want to show them with you. There's 5 knives here. They range in budget from extremely budget friendly to a little bit more costly. I still haven't gotten up there to the Sebenza level or the Chavez, which is, as I said in a previous video, what I'm really looking forward to getting into one day. But right now, I'm happy with what I have. And the very first knife that I want to show you is a budget-friendly knife that I saw on Knife Center. And one of the things that they did when they showed this knife was they said, if this was an American-made knife, instead of a knife made overseas, it would be a $100 knife. And I believe it now, and it is the Ruke P801. This is a phenomenal knife that I just got in. It is a stainless steel handled knife. It's a frame lock. It's absolutely beautiful knife. It's got Sandvik 14 C28N, I think it is what the blade steel is. It has dual thumb studs. It's a flipper opening, smooth action, just incredibly smooth action. Super smooth. Once you feel this knife in your hand, you can see exactly why they liked it so much and why they gave it such high praise. It feels great in the hand. I've got bigger hands, and it completely fills my hand. It's got deep carry pocket clip. Now, one of the downfalls that I do see with this knife is, even though it's a deep carry pocket clip, it does have 2 of the screws in there that are not inset. So one of the things that I've noticed is as you put it in your pocket or pull it out, those screws like to snag a little bit. That's unfortunate, but again, we're talking about a $35 knife. It would cost more if it was American made, but it's not. It is a Ruke P801 that costs around $35 on Blade HQ or KnifeCenter.com. Now, that's not counting tax and shipping, but it is a phenomenal knife. Another thing that I noticed about this knife that is a little bit of a negative, but not enough to really change my opinion about the knife, is where it is a frame lock. I have been noticing this a lot. When I go to open the knife, if I'm not careful, I put too much pressure on the frame and it won't open for me. It actually catches. So I actually have to do that. That's more myself than it is the knife, but it does happen. So it's just a great little knife. For $35, you cannot beat this knife. I absolutely love this knife. It is going to be in my EDC rotation with some other ones like the Protex and stuff like that, and the Spydercos. It's not as expensive as those knives are, but I'm going to tell you right now, I enjoy this knife. It's super sharp right out of the box. Really good edge. Again, stainless steel handles. It is tip up, right handed carry only. The deep carry pocket clip is not reversible or ambidextrous, but just a super nice knife. Let me go over some of the stats here. Now, I've said in my other video, I'm not the guy that's going to know all the stats about all these knives and everything. I'm not going to know all the differences in the different steels and which ones hold up better than the others. Like I said before, and I'll say it one more time, I've always sharpened my own knives. I've been doing that for a long time. I can hold an edge really well. So if it's D2, Alsate, 420, 440, Magna Cut, to me it doesn't matter, because I'm not going to be out there batoning wood. I'm not going to be out there, beating my knives to death. It's just going to be general EDC use for me, and I will always be able to hone my edge, and when it comes time, I will sharpen it. So I'm going to be able to keep an edge. So the steel honestly does not matter. Obviously, that's a big thing for the knife snobs or anything like that, and it's important in the knife community right now, with the price and materials and things like that for the higher end knives, the nicer made knives, higher quality. But again, to me, I'm going to be able to sharpen it no matter what it is. So I do not care as much about the steel as some people will, but I am going to tell you some of the stats on this knife, just because it gives me something to talk about. This is a great knife. It's 8.25 inches overall. The blade length is 3.5 inches. It's Sandvik 14C 28N. It's got a drop point. It's got the stone wash finish. It's got a plain edge. Stainless steel handles. It's 4.23 ounces overall. Again, like I said before, it is right-handed tip-up carry only. So if you're a left-hander like I am left-handed, but I'm kind of ambidextrous. I do most things with my right hand, like throw a football and shoot basketball, but I do right with my left hand. So it's not a big deal for me. Left-handers are not going to find this as user-friendly. You know, one of the things that I noticed just now looking at this, and I heard this said on Knife Center, but I really just noticed it just in looking at the camera. This is a huge replica. Well, not replica, but it's kind of an image of a budget-friendly Sebenza. Obviously not the same price, not the same materials, not the same quality, but it does have that look to it. So anybody out there who wants a Sebenza, like myself, who can't afford one, and it will be a long time before I can, this great little knife might be something that you can get into to give you that feel and that look of a Sebenza at a much more friendly price point. A few other things about this. Well, there's not really much more to know about this. It's made in China. It's used for everyday carry, and it's the Rook 801. I can't speak enough about this knife. I can't say it enough. This is a great little knife. For $35, you cannot beat it. I can see exactly why they said it would be a $100 knife if it was made in America. This knife has incredibly smooth action. It's just smooth. Just smooth. It's just really good action. Just good action. I really like this knife. And again, this is going to go into my everyday carry rotation with some of my other knives. The next knife that I want to show you, I have actually heard call like a budget knockoff or a bug out knockoff. But I want to say something about that. I've heard so many people talk about different knives that are trying to be bug outs, and bug outs are not the very first knife that had that look, that had the, now they might have been, Benchmade did come out with the Axis lock, but there have been other knives that have had that same blade shape and, the handle shape. There's only so many designs that a knife maker can go with in a knife. So I do understand that some knives are trying to ride the wave of the bug out, and maybe that's what this company was trying to do with that. But it's just a knife, and One of the things that I do applaud them for is they do understand the market. And if there's people out there that can't afford a bug out, but they want that same look and that same feel, the same access lock and different things like that, then give them an option. Give them an option. So bravo. And that is the CJRB Hectare. This is a phenomenal little budget knife. It's got the access lock just like the bug out. It is a really nice knife. Now this is deep carry pocket clip. Now this does not have the same issues that the 801 has. The screws are inset, so they do not snag. It's got a great deep carry pocket clip. I like the G10 handles. I like the color. I'm not a big fan of the purple blade, but hey, the orange, the blue, the purple, it really works well. So I like this knife. I actually went with this knife because when I was wanting to get one and I was looking at them after seeing it on maybe Knees Knives or something, one of the YouTube channels that I watch a lot. I was looking at these and my kids actually saw this one and they loved the color and they was like, Dad, get that one. So of course that's what I did. I'm trying to encourage them to get into this and take ownership and pride and knife safety, responsibility, things like that. So it's just a great knife. You know, I didn't pay much for this knife. This is a budget knife, but I'm going to tell you, I'll carry this all day long, every day. All day long, every day. The color's not my favorite, but I'm going to tell you, it's fantastic. I like the action. It's smooth action. Deep carry pocket clip. The colors aren't my favorite, but I mean, they don't bother me none. It's a great conversation piece. And I appreciate budget knives. I started with budget knives. And, you know, everybody's got to start somewhere. And not everybody can get a bug out. And this knife is, and I want to tell you guys something. I see these people on these videos that are flipping it out with their thumb and these thumb holes and stuff. My fingers are so big, I can't do all that. I just can't. I'm not the best flipper in the world, even though I play with my knives every day. I just can't do it like they can. Maybe it's just practice. Maybe it's my fingers are too big. I don't know. I do have some big hands. But let's go over some of the stats about this knife. It's got a dry point blade. It's purple finish. AR, now CJRB does have their own steel, the AR RPM9 steel. It's got a thumb hole opener for convenient blade operation. Blue G10 handles with purple and orange hardware. Crossbar or access lock. Tip up pocket carry. Just a phenomenal knife. You know, I hate going over all the stats because to me that's just not what I'm about. I'm about just the knife and enjoying the knife and looking at the knife and using it. I mean, it's got a great edge. That's what people care about. People, I mean, some people do care about the stats. You know, what's the blade length? What's it, you know, what's the weight of it? Where's it made? Things like that. Some people do. To be perfectly honest, that's just not me. I never did care about that stuff. I'm a full-time dad. There's so many things that I have to worry about on a daily basis. Where a knife is made is the least of my concerns. I want to know, does it feel good in the hand? Does it fit well? Does it have good jimping so that I get a good finger hold on it and I'm not going to slide around on it? Does it come out of the box sharp? I don't care if it's you know, the cheaper steel, because I'm going to be able to, like I said before, I'm going to be able to sharpen it. I'm going to be able to hone an edge and keep an edge sharp for a long time. But I would like to get a knife out of the box sharp when it's brand new. This one has no problem there. It's extremely sharp. I'm going to carry this on a daily basis, or not on a daily basis, but it is going to be in my rotation. Probably not as much as the other ones because it's just, like I said, not my thing as far as the colors go. But I'm definitely going to carry this knife here and there. Conversation piece, maybe when I'm, you know, going out and about with the family and stuff and the kids, and I'm just going to be out maybe needing to open a kid's toy or a letter or a package or something like that, and I'm not going to have any real hard use, which honestly, that's what I'm using a knife for on a daily basis anyways. There's not a lot of hard use. I do go camping every once in a while. Back in the day, I lived in a tent for 2 years, was camping up and down the Appalachian Trail, not because I was broke or anything, and I had to live in a tent, but because I chose to. I had worked a long time, went through a divorce, and I wanted to go camping, and I did, and I've been a prepper for the last 25, 30 years, since I was a little boy, getting into that stuff, and that's been my world. So I do get an opportunity to use the knives and stuff, but on the most part, on a daily basis, I just have light EDC use. So a knife like this is going to do me just fine, and I don't care about the stats, where it's made. I care about, is it sharp? Does it look good? Does it feel good? How easy is it to open? How smooth is the action? Things like that. And I'm sure that a lot of people actually care about the same things. Yeah, there are knife snobs out there, and I don't use that term as derogatory or loosely or anything like that. Meaning that there are people out there that really get into that, and that's what they care about, and that's what they want to know. And I applaud them for that. They probably don't have a lot of kids, and the schedule that I have and the life that I have, and the other commitments that take up all my time, energy, and my brain with, or my bandwidth, I should say. But two great knives, both budget knives. I'm really happy to have them. I'm glad to have them into my collection. I really like the Ruke 801, and I really like the Hectare. And I don't even know if I'm saying Ruke right. I don't know if I'm saying Hectare right. I know how to say CJRB. So I love both of these knives. I'm glad to own them, and I look forward to getting them out, holding them, playing with them, carrying them around, opening many packages over the years with them. Now, these next few knives are not as budget friendly. The very first one is an EDC fixed blade. Now, I've gotten big into fixed blades. I've always been a folder guy. Never was too big on fixed blades until watched some videos, started realizing how many options there are out there. Saw some really nice fixed blades that really caught my eye. So I started diving into the world of fixed blades a little bit more, and I've got some really nice fixed blades, some that I'm going to be showing in future videos, and I am still planning on doing a complete collection video. But this one is an amazing little knife. It's the Bradford Guardian 3. I have seen so much about the Bradfords. I've heard so much about them. I've seen so much about them, and I'm going to tell you, I wanted to get one of these things so bad, and I finally did. I got me a Bradford. Now, I will say that I need the 3.5 or the 4 because my hands are really big, and this thing does not fill up my hand. It's more of a 3.5 finger, but it's got great jimping. For a nice little EDC fixed blade, it's a great knife. A great knife. I really like this knife. It's beautiful. It's got the camouflage micarta scales. Just a beautiful knife. Bradford 3. Now, I'll go over the steel and stuff like that, but I want to talk about something really quick. It came with the sheath. Now, this knife was $130 plus shipping and handling and tax. $130. Not that much. But it came with this really nice little leather sheath. Now, I got this thing out of the package, and I was tickled to death because it is one that you can actually carry with cross draw. And that's how I want to carry my fixed blades. I want to carry them cross draw, carry them and pull them out horizontally instead of vertically. And the very first time that I put this thing on, what I noticed was it was extremely hard to get that belt through there. It was a task. Once I did, within 20 minutes, the sheath was done. So now what I have is a slip holder, a slip holster. Or sheath, I should say, a slip sheath. I can just put it in my pocket and pull it out and use it that way. that is what my limitations are with this knife. It doesn't change my opinion of the knife, but it definitely changes my opinion of the money that I paid for it and of the quality of the sheath. At first sight, I was like, wow, such a nice sheath. I really like that thing. It's elegant looking. It's well made, or so I thought. But literally within 20 minutes of getting this out and putting it on, it had already the sheath had already been ruined. So now I just slip it in my pocket and carry it that way. I am gonna get a Kydex sheath for this. I know you can get aftermarket Kydex sheaths, and I am looking forward to that. But even if I don't, just slipping that in my pocket, it's small enough to where I can slip it in my pocket. I'm a bigger guy, so it's going to be hidden really well and fit really well in my pockets, and I'll just pull that thing out whenever I need it, slip it in and out of the sheath as I come across a use. Now, let's see, what does this thing... 6.75 inches overall. The blade length is 3.5 inches. It's got 3 inches of cutting edge. It's 0.15 inches of blade thickness. Now, the blade material, I'm not familiar with this. AEB-L. I'm not sure what that is. On the hardness is 61 RC. It's got a spear point, flat grind. It's got a stone wash finish, plain edge. Micarta, camouflage micarta, green camouflage micarta. The weight is 3.56 ounces. Leather sheath. It is a fixed blade. USA made, which is a great thing about Bradford knives. They're all USA made, and I love that about the Bradford knives. But this is a Guardian 3. I don't mean to sound negative about the knife because of the sheath, because I'm not. I love this knife. It is extremely sharp right out of the box. I mean, boom, what an edge. It feels good, it looks good, great jimping. I love the shape of the knife, the design. I love that spear point. I love the stone wash finish. I love the reputation that Bradford Knives has. I've been looking forward to getting it. It's got the lanyard hole in the back, which I will be putting a lanyard on there to give me that extra finger grip, that extra, real estate to grab hold of there at the end. I can't say enough about this knife. I look forward to carrying this on a daily basis. This is going to be one of my main daily EDC fixed blades. I'm always going to have a folder on me, but I'm always going to have a fixed blade. And this is going to be one of my number one EDC fixed blades that I carry until I get the 3.5 or the 4. And even then, I'm probably still going to stick with this because it's so small, it's so lightweight, it's conceals in my pocket so well. Just such a nice knife. I love the Bradfords. I've loved their reputation. I've looked online. I've seen so much about them, and I've just been tickled to death to get one. And it is everything that I've heard and more. Sheath excluded. I'm really disappointed about the sheath, but I didn't buy it for the sheath. I bought it for this thing right here. And this thing right here, I would have paid more for this without the sheath than I did. So I'm still happy with the price that I paid. I paid, I think, $130 plus shipping, handling, and tax. So it's a great price on this knife. A great price. Now, that's not as budget friendly as some people need it to be. And there are great options out there instead of the Bradford Guardian 3. But if you can afford a Bradford, if it doesn't take food off your table, I definitely recommend getting one. As soon as you hold it in your hand, you're going to understand what the fuss is all about. It feels great. It looks great. It's got a great edge. And you can just tell when you hold it. You're like, yeah, I can see what the fuss is about. Now, the next knife that I want to talk with you guys about is one of my favorite brands, one of my favorite all-time brands of knives, and it is because I have been a camper and a prepper and a survivalist for so many years, and that is the Essie knife. I've got a ton of Essie knives. I love Essie knives, and I have got A beautiful knife by Essie, and it is the Essie 4. What a nice knife. Forgive me for my fingerprints on this. Forgive me for that. I should have done a better job of wiping the blades down, having them all presentable. But I do get these things out and look at them and stuff like that. But I'm going to tell you, what a nice knife. I spoke in my last video about the Essie knives and how great they are, and how when I do go out and baton wood and feather stick, I'm not using any of my folders. I'm not using most of the knives that I actually have in my collection. Very few knives am I going to do that with. So most of my knives I don't need for anything serious use, heavy use. They're just going to be EDC use. So it's easier to keep an edge on them. I'm going to tell you though, if there is something that I need to do that's heavy use, I'm going to tell you what knife it's going to be, and it's going to be an Essie. And the number one reason is because of their warranty. It is the best warranty in the industry, hands down. I don't care what anybody says. There might be one out there that's good, but it's not better. They have a no questions asked policy. If something happens to this knife, they are going to replace it for me for free. And I'm going to tell you, that is standing behind your work. And I absolutely love the Essie company. I love their products. Can't say enough about them. Every Essie that I have, the Izula, the 4, the 3, the 6, I just love Essie knives. I just love them. I love the Essie knives. Now this has got the 3D contoured handles. It's got S35VN steel, stone-washed edge or stone-washed blade. It's got great jimping. I love that finger choil right there, so you can really choke up on it and get that extra real estate and get that good firm grip if you're wanting to feather stick or anything like that. This is a knife that you can definitely baton with. The blade stock, I mean, look at that. You can definitely go to town with this thing without any fear of damaging it. And if you do, like I said, it's got a great warranty that's going to cover it and replace it if you do. So you can actually take this out anywhere that you want to go, and you can put this thing through any paces that you want to go and do, and you're not going to have any fears, because if anything happens to it, you're going to get another knife. That is such a great peace of mind. You pay for what you get what you pay for. And I just love this knife. It comes with a great sheath. It's got really nice retention. I mean, that's got nice retention. It's got a little thumb landing right there, so you can push off to release it. Just listen to that snap. That's retention right there. Comes with a lanyard strap here, so you can, just a lanyard strap. I don't know what that really is for, but I'm going to take that off, I'm sure. It also comes with a little bit of hardware here. You can take this out, and this is like a pocket clip that you can put on it. It comes with the screws and the washers and everything, so that you can actually put it on and you can wear it as a belt knife or anything like that. I'm never going to use that. I will probably put some paracord wrapping around it and attach it to a MOLLE strap on my backpack or something like that. Obviously it's too big to be a neck knife, and if I was going out into the woods and I needed a neck knife, it's going to be my Essie Izula. It's not going to be the Essie 4. But I'm going to tell you right now, this knife is one heck of a knife. Now we'll go over some of the stats on this knife really quick. I told you already, it's got the S35VN steel, black and gray G10 handles, which is the 3D. So it's got that contoured finish and that grip and that feel. The stone washed blade and injection molded sheath. That's not Kydex, it's injection molded. I'm sorry. Overall length is 9 inches, 4.5 inches of blade length. The blade width is 1.25 centimeters, so it's got some good thickness, or width, I should say, some good blade stock. It's got a drop point, flat grind. Let's see. the weight on it. Now, here's one of the things about these knives. I mean, because of that thicker stock, I mean, this has got some weight to it. This is 7.77 ounces. It's right or left-handed, ambidextrous, obviously, because it's a fixed blade. That's one of the great things about the fixed blades. Now, Essie, USA made. It's a camping and hiking knife, survival knife. Just an all-around amazing knife. Of all the knives that I own, if I was gonna ever have to grab my knives in a hurry, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna grab one or two good folders. But if I had to grab a knife and go, it's going to be in one of my fixed blade Essies, because I know that this thing is going to stand up to anything I need it to do, whether it be this or the 6 or the 5 or whatever. But I am going to grab an Essie fixed blade. You just can't beat them. You just can't beat them. I've been using Essies for a long time, and I love my Essie knives. And if you don't have an Essie knife, and you're in the blade community and you are collecting and you're a knife user, then what are you doing? You need to solve that problem immediately. Remedy the problem, get you an Essie, find out what the fuss is about, and I promise you, it'll be one of the best knife purchases you've ever made. All right, so the last knife that I want to share with you guys today is one of my favorite knives. It's I know I've said this a lot. Essie Knives is one of my favorite manufacturers, but my overall favorite manufacturer of all knives. To me, they make the best automatic knives in the world. They're the cream of the crop. They are the creme de la creme. They are the king of the castle when it comes to automatic knives, and that is ProTech. I've got some Microtech, and I know everybody loves Microtech, and Boker has some great ones. Kershaw has some great automatic knives, but ProTech is the best automatic knife manufacturer out there. This is the TR3. It is an absolute beautiful, stunning knife. I love this knife. I just got this knife in. Now, it's not deep carry pocket clip, so I mean that's kind of a drag, but you know, nothing's perfect. And this thing is as close to perfect as it's gonna get. So just a great automatic knife. And I want to tell you, if you've ever had a ProTech and you feel that action, these things will jump out of your hands if you don't got a good grip. ProTech is awesome. They make, I mean, they're awesome. It's got 154 cm steel, so it's a great steel. It's going to last a long time. It's going to hold a good edge. It's going to be easier to sharpen. I mean, it's not going to be easy to sharpen. If you don't know how to sharpen knives, the last thing you want to do is start getting in there with magnet cut, 154 cm. You know, your higher end steels. Obviously, they're harder to sharpen. You know, all the way down to D2 and stuff like that. They're not like your 440s and your 420s. It's easier to put an edge on, but they lose their edge quicker. These things are harder to sharpen, but they're going to hold their edge a lot longer. This is extremely sharp right out of the box. I mean, it is a razor blade out of the box. I love that about this knife. Now, here's the thing. I can't say it enough that I'm a dad. All right, I'm a full-time dad, 4 little boys. I'm always going to have my boys on me, or with me, not on me. Actually, most of the time they are on me, crawling all over me, my 2-year-old, my 5-year-old especially. But because of that, I have to be honest, one of the things that I'm not doing often is carrying around an automatic knife. There's just too many things that can go wrong. Yes, knife responsibility and ownership and being responsible with them and handling it, knife safety around my kids and stuff like that. But when I'm out and about and my kids need something, I'm not jerking out an automatic knife. They're running around, they're jumping, they're all over me. I don't want to have to jerk this thing out and start flipping it over and then walk into it or something like that, which, yes, I know the likelihood of that happening is not very high, especially with me, the way that I am with them and attentive and stuff like that, and my knife responsibility and my knife safety. It's extremely important, and that's one of the reasons why I'm getting them into knife collecting as well, because I want them to understand the same thing. Not only the sense of ownership of having something that they're collecting, the pride, the hobby that we're doing together, the bond that we're creating there, the investments that I'm teaching them, putting your money into something that you can enjoy. But also, if you ever got in a hard spot and you needed to sell, you could sell this thing and get you a couple bucks out of it, no problem. So there's a lot of things I'm trying to teach my kids with that, along with the bonding and giving us something to do together. So the knife safety is extremely important to me, and I teach it to them as well. But I'm just not going to be carrying around an automatic knife a lot because I have kids. When I'm jerking out a knife, and I'm going to be using it to open something for one of my children or something like that, it's going to be something that I can open easy, safely, quickly. It's not going to jump out of my hands. Also, if I need to hand it to my 9-year-old and I say, hey, buddy, be careful. Here you go. Cut that string off of that if you need to. You got a string hanging from your shirt. Do you want to cut it yourself? Here you go. Take this. Take this knife. Cut that string off. I'm not going to be able to hand him this ProTech and say, hey, buddy, cut that string off. Now, I could, but it's not going to be as easy or as convenient for me. So these are knives that I buy for myself. I enjoy them. I love them. ProTechs are amazing. But for my purposes on a daily basis, I'm not going to carry them a whole lot. They are going into my drawer. Now, when I'm not out with my kids and they're with their mother or something like that, and I'm out and about or doing something myself, or I'm out with my buddies or we're going shooting guns or something like that, I'm going to throw a Microtech or a ProTech on me in my pocket, of course. But those are few and far between incidences. So you're going to see me with something like this, or the Rook, or the Bradford, or something like that. Now, this ProTech is not a cheap knife. Again, these are not budget knives. The ProTech TR3 black with grooves, bead blasted 154 cm steel. It's got a push button automatic opening. Black anodized aluminum handle with a groove texture. Plunge lock mechanism. It's got a steel pocket clip for tip up right carry only. It is not ambidextrous. You cannot rotate or switch that around. It is tip up only and is for right-handed people only. Again, left-handed people are going to have a harder time with this. Again, I'm left-handed, and yes, I could still pull that off, but you can definitely feel the difference. This is a right-handed person's knife. So left-handed people are not going to enjoy that as much or find as much convenience in that. But let me see some other specifications about this. Overall length is 8 inches, 3.5 inches of blade length, draw point, flat grind, bead blasted, plain edge, aluminum handles. The frame liner is aluminum. Right-handed tip up, automatic, push button. ProTech is an American-made company, and this is a tactical knife. I hate going over the stats. When I do this more, I'm going to learn the stats so I can ramble them off like a lot of your Neves knives or your Metal Complex and stuff like that. They know that, but they do this for a living. I'm a full-time dad. Now, you want to know what diapers hold the most moisture without leaking? I'm your guy to ask. If you want to know what laundry detergent will take the stains out of your knees, I'm the guy to ask. If you want to know which TV dinners are going to suffice for 4 little boys, which snack cakes are going to go the farthest, which packs of snacks, has the most in a box, I'm the guy you need to ask. If you want to know about daggone TV shows, what's kid-friendly and what's not, I can tell you all that stuff. All the stats on knives, I'm not that guy. Not yet, but I'm getting there. But I do have a great collection, and it's growing on a daily basis, and I love it. And I consider myself fortunate and lucky to be doing this. It's something I can do in the house with my children. It is an expensive hobby, but it's the only hobby that I have, so I enjoy it. And You know, I didn't do this in the last video, but I will say this. If I had to pick out a knife out of these 5 that I was going to say is overall my favorite knife, it would probably be, I mean, you got to go with the ProTech. ProTech, you can't beat the ProTech. The ProTech TR3 is my favorite knife, hands down. If you would ask me which knife right out of the box surprised me the most, which one had the biggest bang for the buck, like first impressions, like wowed me the most, no question, it's the Ruke P801. This knife, absolutely, as soon as I opened it and opened that blade one time, I knew what the fuss was about. I was like, I see exactly what DCA was talking about on Knife Center. I see exactly what they was talking about. This should be a lot more expensive than it is. This is a great little knife. Everybody should know about this. Everybody should own one. And this would be a great EDC pocket knife. I'm going to tell you, I'm absolutely tickled to death with this knife. There are a few things that I would change: the pocket clip screws and the way that the frame lock actually catches a little bit and makes it harder to open. But those are small little things on a $35 knife. Overall, this is the knife that actually impressed me the most right out of the box, the biggest bang for the buck, and I can't recommend it enough. So I tell you guys, I look forward to doing an entire collection video because I have a lot of knives and a lot of fixed blades, a lot of folders, and I really look forward to doing that. But I'm definitely going to start doing this on a daily basis, or I should say at least a weekly basis, taking the knives that I get for the week and doing a video of my new ads, because I'm going to try to get something every week, a little bit here and there, even if it's just 1 or 2 knives, budget knives or whatever. And I'm working for that Sebenza. I'm working for that Chavez. I really want those 2 knives. I love them. There's a lot of knives out there that I like in the WE line. There's a lot of custom knives that I like, but my first big goal in my grill knives that I'm working for right now are the Sebenza and the Chavez. And either one, I'm going to be tickled to death to have, and I can't wait to get one. I cannot wait. And when I do get one, I promise you that I'm going to share it on YouTube. I'm going to put me a video out there, and you will see a grown man be as happy as a kid in a candy store, because I love knives. I love them. I love everything about them. The cheap ones, the expensive ones, dull ones, sharp ones, it doesn't matter. If it's dull, I'll make it sharp. And if it's sharp, give me enough time, I'm going to use it enough to make it dull. So I love knives. So I hope that you like knives too. And if you do, I hope you enjoyed the video and looking at some of these with me and sharing my collection. You know, and I'm not expecting anybody to watch these videos. These are kind of just for me to vent and get things out and to say a few things about my knives. And if somebody does watch them, great. Hey, you know, if there's anything that you like about my knives or anything that I said that was wrong, let me know. But again, I'm not expecting anybody to watch these videos. This is just for me and my kids. But thank you guys. If you do watch, thank you. Let me know if there's anything that you want to add or that you want to take away, or that you can enlighten me on. And again, one other question I want to ask: what is the deal with tip up, tip down pocket carry? What is the argument? Why do people get so heated over that? I do not understand. To me, I don't care if it's tip up or tip down, whatever. What is the deal? Why are people so caught up in tip up or tip down? I don't understand. Maybe you can enlighten me and tell me what I'm missing and why that's such an important issue. Is it a tactical issue? Is it a pulling it out and quicker, you know, putting it into use quicker, easier deployment? What is it? I don't know. So a safety issue? I don't know. So if you do know that, please enlighten me to that. But other than that, thank you for sharing my knives with me and letting me vent and, you know, just talk about my hobby, my love of knives, and my new toys. Thank you guys, and I will see you after my next round of purchases. Have a good one.